Hello and welcome to episode number 97 of Super Califanilistic. My name is Christian Rauchenwald and today we're going to talk about how you can master everything. Before we get to that, as always, a quick welcome to everybody who tunes in for the first time to one of my episodes. Make sure to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right of this video if you're watching this on YouTube, or to subscribe to the podcast if you're listening to the podcast version of this series. That said, let's talk about how you can master everything. Now, why do I want to talk about it? It happens very often when I help people with some technical issues or some marketing issues or other issues that they basically come out and say like, yeah, I cannot do that. I'm so grateful that you do that for me. And it just made me think like, how did I actually learn how to do certain things? Doesn't matter if it's like a programming language, speaking a foreign language like English for me, and or totally different things like coming up with an offer or what people could offer to a certain audience and stuff like that. And the answer is like, I'm not different from you. Like you are not anything like how to say, like worse in quotes. You are not, I'm not that much smarter than you guys are. I just have a different mindset. That's the number one difference. Like where I read in chat messages or here in one-on-one calls that people say I cannot do that, I hardly ever say I cannot do that unless I don't want to do something. Then I say I cannot. But other than that, I simply tell myself, well, I don't know how to do it yet. And then I go to Google, I go to YouTube, and I spend the time that I need to find a tutorial, because like there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah, so it means like, especially in the online marketing business or in basically almost any business out there, it's very rarely that something new is invented. Usually it's something that already exists. Maybe the marketing is different, maybe it's just a different packaging. Maybe there's think of like the Lord of the Rings, where you had the books, or Harry Potter, where you had the books, and then suddenly somebody says let's make it into a movie. It's like taking something existing and just like put it into different packaging, and by that having a totally different outcome, or like additional revenue, or whatever your goal is. But the point is, nothing new was invented to do that. Yeah, and the same is like when you want to, I don't know, like create a fancy website, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars. Well, you can either tell yourself, oh my god, that's so complicated, I cannot do that, and that's the moment where you actually failed, and because your brain switches to a state where you don't look for a solution on how to do it. Or you can tell yourself, well, I don't know how to do it yet, and you had to Google like how to create a funnel within ClickFunnels, or to YouTube, and you will find thousands of videos on almost any topic. Yes, there are some very niche down specific technical topics where you only might find a handful results, and they may not fit 100% to your issue, but learning from them then also already provides you with a solution. For most of you, programmers are like those geeky, nerdy people that know so much or can do this magic thing of like creating software or websites or some dynamic stuff, when in fact they also use websites. There's a website called Stack Overflow, where people basically post their programming questions, like I want to do this with my code but it's not working, and somebody else then helps out with the solution, and or just provides an example of something similar. And then based on having that similar thing, like as a programmer, you suddenly have a starting spot. You know, okay, that's roughly how it could work, and you take that and you start working from there. So instead of trying to invent everything from scratch, if you really have no clue, you take something that's already proven to work. Maybe it may not be exactly what you need, but then you just need to figure out where you need to adjust it. And the same applies really to everything. I see people, the biggest problem is people don't try anymore. And while it's like for regular people this might be an okay situation, as an entrepreneur that's actually like the worst state you can achieve. The point where you don't try to solve problems anymore. As an entrepreneur, your definition or the definition of the word entrepreneur basically is that you solve problems almost on daily basis. Like it may be your problems, like how to source your product cheaper, what's the next product your audience wants to buy, how to drive traffic cheaper, and there's a million, how to save taxes, a million different problems as an entrepreneur that you have to solve. And well, when you start out and you don't have a huge team or a huge budget, you'll also have to learn some basic things. Yeah, Now there's a difference in highly technical, complicated flows that you only need to set up once. So it makes no sense for you to learn them, because paying somebody to do it for you is simply the faster solution, and you know it's done properly. But then there's so many topics like where people like basically, well, for example, I had a case where somebody told me I need to show them how to upload a video. Yeah, like basically I should do it for them. Well, that's something that doesn't make sense, because that's something they will need over and over again. And if you, those tasks that basically 6-year-olds get done on YouTube themselves, if you don't try to learn those things and you constantly keep paying people to do those simple things for you, well, eventually you will not have a lot of profit, because you will be working and try to sell your product, but you will just keep paying people for like ridiculous tasks. Like basically it would be like, could you please, like, I don't know, like hand me the book from the shelf and here's $50 for it. Yeah. That's how when you, or that's the same if you like ask somebody to constantly take care of uploading your videos. Yes, at some point when you have a bigger team and your videos get professionally cut and maybe edited and stuff like that, well, the person that cuts it and or your copywriter may then take care of uploading it and writing the right description. But in the beginning, that's like one of the things that's only taking you like 60 seconds. There's thousands of YouTube videos that explain how to do it. In fact, even if you just try to solve the problem by, okay, I go to YouTube, okay, there's a button like a camera with a plus, I click on it, it says upload video, okay, I pick my video, I upload it. Or even in the mobile application of YouTube, it's like something, when you tell yourself I cannot do this, you do not try anymore. The moment you say like, okay, I need to upload this video, how can I do it? Well, you will probably go to YouTube because you see everybody else is hosting on YouTube, and you will see, oh, okay, I probably need an account because I want a YouTube channel or something like that. And you will see like a flow that guides you. Like YouTube is not this maze where it's like almost impossible to sign up an account. It's made so easy that really kids can do it. And by telling yourself I need to learn how, and I'm gonna look for the way how I can do this, you will actually put your brain into a mode where it looks for a solution, instead of just like keep telling yourself, well, no, that's something I cannot do, I need to hire somebody to get this done for me. And there's a million other things. Like I see people in the One Funnel Away challenge getting stuck with, for example, integrating MailChimp or another autoresponder with the ClickFunnels account, when in fact there's a ClickFunnels help center. What do you think it's there for? It's there for to provide you with tutorials on basic things. It contains tutorials on how to set up everything. Yeah. Yes, some of those things are more technical, like dealing with DNS management for your domains. Yes, there, well, you will not need it that often unless you plan to have many projects, but even then it's only one small step. Well, then hire somebody to get it done for you. Yeah. But there's so many tasks where nowadays entrepreneurs just are not willing to put in the effort. And on the other hand, then they keep usually crying that they don't have the money to do this or to do that. Well, then sacrifice the time that it needs. Like, consider your opportunity cost. Like, and also with your opportunity cost, it's not just that, well, if I learn how to upload a video on YouTube, it takes me 2 hours. If I pay somebody, I can save those 2 hours, blah, blah. Yeah, but then consider how often you will have to do this in the future again and pay somebody, or just then once you know how it's done, like it literally takes like 60 seconds or less to upload a video to YouTube. Yes, writing the title and the description, all of that stuff may take you a little bit, but that's actually not the uploading part that you're stuck with. Yeah. So there, your opportunity cost doesn't really apply like straightforward, but you need to consider how often will you need to do this in the future, and how often would you need to pay that person. What if they're not available? You need a video up and running in 5 minutes, or maybe you need to remove a video for some, I don't know, copyright violations or whatever it is. And then you cannot do that yourself because and you don't have anybody who's like really available, because the freelancer you used to hire for that doesn't work anymore on that platform, or he's on vacation or whatever it is. Yeah. So maybe you go live with your website, but something is not working, and because you have zero clue, because you're not even interested in understanding the basics, you again need to rely on somebody. And because you were cheap and saved on the freelancer, you hired somebody from a time zone that's around the globe. And in the end, like you need an urgent change, but that person is sleeping currently. Yeah. So like that's like, it's a real problem for most entrepreneurs. It's a real problem for most people that join things like the One Funnel Away challenge. They all want to have the huge results, but they don't want to put in the effort. And it's not about like that it takes hours or days or weeks to figure out, because it really doesn't. It's about that they tell themselves that they cannot do it. And the moment you tell yourself you cannot do something, you will eventually fail. Like, think back I mean, you probably won't remember, I don't remember either, but at some point you were a baby and you could not walk and you were just crawling on the floor, but you saw all these other people walking around. So eventually you decided, well, I can do it too. Plus your parents and everybody else kept motivating you, like, come on, you can do it. And even when you tried and you fell on your face, nobody was telling you, haha, you suck, but they kept telling you, like, come on, you almost did it, you can do it again. And the same is then when you learn to speak, yeah. You just start imitating the noises that other people make, and they basically cheer for you. Yes, say it one more time, you can do it, and stuff like that. And that's how you learn it, but you didn't learn it with first try. And the thing is, back then nobody told you that you cannot do it, and you didn't tell yourself that you cannot do it, and that's why you eventually succeeded. So yes, maybe you make a mistake uploading the first YouTube video, maybe you make a mistake with publishing your first funnel, maybe you make mistakes when setting up the domain, but by trying yourself, you will actually start learning the process, start understanding the basics. So if you ever need to do it again, you're like not like totally confused, but you already know how to navigate within the software, how to find your videos in the YouTube Creator Studio, for example, how to, or if there's a problem with your email integration, you would know where to look for the integration itself and maybe like reset it. And the biggest thing is, like, you need to come to or reach a state of mind where there is no, I cannot do this. It needs to change to a, I don't know how yet. And yes, sometimes it's frustrating. I constantly, like, I love IT, so I constantly play around with things, you know, like, for example, instead of simply like picking the easiest solution to stream to Facebook or Twitch or something like that, I spent the time to order a Raspberry Pi because it's a hobby of mine. It's an interest of mine. It's something you don't need to do, but still. And I educated myself, okay, how can I set up that Raspberry Pi that it serves as a media server, like a so-called RTMP server in between. Basically that my phone or every device within my local network here at home streams to that Raspberry Pi, and that Raspberry Pi forwards it to different destinations. Yeah, I spent like, I don't know, 4 or 6 hours on that whole project. It didn't have any like business benefits, but it taught me some new things. Yeah, if I will ever use them in terms of business, we will see, but it was fun for me to figure it out. Yeah. And the biggest advantage is, if you switch your mindset and you start figuring things out on your own, you will have the feeling that you accomplished something, and you will have the feeling that you actually understood something. It comes with a downside. When you have like as much experience as I have with certain areas, where I basically taught myself everything from scratch by simply doing, yeah, you'll reach the point when you want to hire somebody that most of the who's you can hire don't even know half as much as you do, yeah, and the who's that know more than you do charge prices that are far out of your range. But in the end, it also comes with the benefit that if at 3 in the morning I want to change something or set up new Facebook ads, I know how to do it. If I want to change something on my YouTube channel, my funnel, do some custom stuff, I know how to do it. I don't need to rely on a who. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So don't forget, you're an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, you want to solve problems. Like that's like your own thing, that like the only thing you do as an entrepreneur is solving problems. It's not like making money or something. It's solving problems on daily basis. How can I improve my ads? What product can we sell next? What service can we sell next? How does this fit in there? What's the perfect follow-up sequence? Should we switch from YouTube to Vimeo or to Wistia? Like, you make the decisions, you solve the problems. Yes, some who may take care of like one-time technical things or highly complicated stuff, but for the majority of things, you make the decisions. Like, that's it. Yeah, so thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget, if you took anything positive away from the video, thumbs up. And also thanks for listening to the podcast. And a last reminder, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. That said, see you tomorrow with another episode of Super Califanilistic. Till then, bye-bye.